Oh, hence out again in the local constitutional court in California. And although this video will be kind of technically limited, uh, in some ways, to evictions and foreclosures, the issues that arise do so across the board as you're going to learn. And you instinctively, you say, what the hell is this? You think you have, property rights in your house and home and whatever, and you're going to find out that the just us system thinks exactly the opposite. You're going to find out why they think that, and you're going to learn what to do about it. And that's the exciting part. Because all this nonsense, I mean, it's just astounding, given what you should have learned in school about the original intent of those racist framers, because you should have property rights. Yet somehow, our agents of our agents, mortgage companies, corporate landlords, somehow they have rights using the same undefined dollars that we're forced to use, and they get away with it because of all the corruption in the system. I'm going to teach you a lot about learning how to get around that, and maybe doing it very quickly given recent events and events in the U.S. Supreme Court, which will be shutting down at the end of June. And I think we're going to see 2 or 3 new justices on there. And if that happens, that is a ton of bargaining leverage for us. Because even that court knows it has been a big part of the problem in not doing its job up until the last 5 years or so. But with younger justices on there, I mean, when the shit hits the fan, it is going to be very ugly because the American people are going to learn, no 14th Amendment, no birthright citizens, no qualified electors, no qualified jurors, no trial by jury, no habeas corpus, no nothing. And that's what we have to get back. And I believe we're in a window now we can really do that. It's taken 150 years. And you'll learn more about that. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. But I have documents now that we are going to put in and challenge, these people coming after you, no matter who they are, because they are birthright citizens who owe their citizenship to the non-existent 14th War Amendment. And you're going to find out they can't even prove they have standing in an administrative tribunal, let alone a judicial court and trial by jury, to which you have the right from day one. Yet we can't find any evidence you made a voluntary, knowing, and intelligent waiver of any rights, especially that one. And that's the reference standard of the U.S. Supreme Court saying, not me. Voluntary, knowing, and intelligent waiver of rights. So we get to that point, and they're going to have to show that too, but they never made a full disclosure of all the terms to you at the time you signed the agreement, did they? Never happened, never going to happen because they can't do it. And for that reason, there isn't a contract that's in existence that can be enforced. And there's that pesky U.S. Supreme Court saying in a case called Cohen v. Virginia. Oh, that's old law. They don't use that anymore. 200 years ago, but the current justices know this case. What did they say there, among other things? The case of the state which pays off its debts with paper money no more resembles this than those to which we've already referred. The courts have no jurisdiction over the contract. They cannot judge of its validity. Exactly the position that you're in now, but you overtly present arguments like this one and a lot of other structural jurisdictional errors. If we catch things early enough in the process, we might just get them thrown out almost from day one because they simply don't have anything. Even in an administrative tribunal, and that, by the way, has been a red hot topic in the U.S. Supreme Court for the last 5 years. And you're going to learn some case law decisions that they ruled on, and you read it without knowing what you're reading. It's going to look like your case. That's legally called res judicata. meaning that the case is already decided. We're just bringing it there in what looks like a different setting. That's going to put, especially mortgage bankers and corporate landlords all out of business. Now, the good news for them, though, such as it is they may well not be homeless like what they're threatening to do to you. Because again, Cohen's v. Virginia, the court must exercise jurisdiction if it has it. It can't exercise jurisdiction if it doesn't. But one or the other is treason to the Constitution. So these bastards won't be homeless. They might be in close proximity to cell 2455 on San Quentin death row. And how many of them is it going to take to get there before this stuff stops? So working together, we can do it. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. You'll learn even more stunning developments here that you didn't hear a rat's ass about when you were in school. And I sure didn't all those decades ago outside of Washington, D.C. My life would have been different in 10th grade if I had heard this. But that's okay. We can make up for it now because we know, and we're going to take full advantage of that and do everything we can to put these bastards out of business. It isn't just your case. If we get one case decided on the record, especially by the U.S. Supreme Court, it's going to be good from Portland, Maine to Portland, Oregon. That's the threat we have here. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com, and I'll tell you more about my materials and how to order them and study them, and finally get in there and present rights secured by the Constitution, creator endowed inalienable rights, not civil rights. 14th Amendment doesn't exist. It never did. We're going to learn all about that too, but that's all they have. That's it. Birthright citizens, or what I call jus soli, foreign state subordinate corporate dead entities, which have no right to de facto national socialist government, is bound to respect. Trump knows it, Bondi knows it, and most importantly, the justices on the U.S. Supreme Court know it. That's a lot of bargaining leverage, and it's exciting to start the journey back to the original intent of those racist framers and get back the government we should have, and we can go in there and make changes, but do it right this time if we want to make changes. There's ways to do just about anything. Send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. You're going to love what's going on here and the window of opportunity that we're in. It's just stunning. I mean, here I am. I'll be 77 later this year. Life is still ahead of me because of that divine gift that I have. And I don't know how I got it, but I just did it. And it's a lot more just connecting the dots. But I can do it with attitude and with authority and make good sense out of all of it. And that's in part because I got here, by the way, from March 4th, 1857. I don't know how that happened. I have to ask Elon Musk and Bill Gates about that part. But I'm a refugee from the mid-19th century, not the mid-20th century. So that said, send me an email. You'll learn all about this. youwinnincourt@gmail.com, how we can get in there and put up a real fight and maybe make these bastards go away almost from day one. That's even better if we can do it. And we have the justices on the U.S. Supreme Court. I'm looking for some retirements there in June that's going to make it even better if that happens. And we will be able to do it, because they're going to go back to where they should have been all this time, to the original intent. And once we have that, we can do just about anything we want. So send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. Remember to, like the videos, tell your friends, get the word out. The quicker we start taking action, the faster we get these bastards off our backs. Thank you.